I think we'll go ahead and start because we have a nice crowd tonight. I want to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for taking the time to come on to this month's chapter chat on membership. We have some really exciting news to share, and I think it's going to make the year really fun. And you guys are going to be experts at it, so you can share it with all your members and maybe other chapters. Membership is one of the big focus committees this year, and it's going to help us move our AMBUCS upward and outward as we go throughout the year. Tonight's guest speakers are going to be Carmela Davis. Carmela, could you speak or wave? Maybe we can see you.
Hi, I'm here tonight.
There she is in her car. And the other leader is going to be Fina Net, who is our Big Hat National President. Carmela is a past National President, and last year, under Donna Hinchton, she was the chair of the membership committee. So we're kind of finishing up that committee and blending it into the new committee for this year. So that's why those two are going to be our speakers. But before they start, anyone who would like to introduce themselves, and Adam, maybe you could give us a full screen of people so that we can see everybody while we do attendee introductions. I'm going to make that.
They have to pull their screen over.
So I'm going to make my screen big. You might have to enlarge your screens. I don't know how your setup is, but take a minute to do that. So we are not forcing anyone to tell us who they are, but if you would like to do that, you can raise your hand and I'll call upon you. And what I would like for you to share is your name, chapter name, and if you have a membership drive already set up or an idea that you're thinking of, please let us know in a 1 minute or less
What's going on?
conversation. And somehow we got really small again. We got small again. I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks like we're viewing Paula Bleckley's screen.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll give her a minute to stop sharing.
Let me figure out how to fix that.
Interesting.
A minute or two ago, it
This is the
said,
first.
okay, leave it to, there's always a first with our chapter chat. So
Stop.
welcome to all of you newbies. Hey, look,
There's
at that.
Adam.
Adam.
There we go. So I'll introduce myself first and then we'll move along. I'm Donna Carlton Vish. I am your current national president, and I'm very excited and honored to be able to hold this position. And hopefully you all will share many, many things throughout the year with our board and with all of us so that we can grow our AMBUCS chapters. Who would like to be next?
I'm Diane Carlton. I'm Donna's sister. I'm Danville chapter president. We don't have a membership drive set up yet. We plan to do a really big one next spring. I don't know that we'll get to it this fall because we have Super Soccer and Challenger All-Star Baseball and several other things going on.
Okay. Who would like to speak next? Raise your hand, I'll call upon you. Steve Davis.
I am Steve Davis. I'm from Walker, Michigan chapter, and we do not have a membership plan in order, but my thing is we just talk to people about AMBUCS and invite them in. And, but as far as a formal plan, we don't have one yet. Maybe this will spur us on.
Cool. Great ideas. Karen Vidrickson.
Hi, Karen Vidrickson from New Network AMBUCS in Salina, Kansas. I am first vice president and also Big Hat president. But anyway, we are having a Big Hat shuffle, which we have these little hats like so.
Oh, okay.
And if you bring a guest, then we have a shuffle and we shuffle them on the table and you draw one. It could either have 2, 5, or 10. And if that guest joins, then there is another Big Hat shuffle and it's 5, 10, 20. And then anyone who brings in a new member we'll be putting a pot for $100 at the end of fall branding.
Pretty stinking cute.
That is very unique.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
This is Annette. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Annette, because I can't see you.
I don't know how to raise my hand, so I feel very rude for just,
Oh,
is there something I should be looking for to raise my hand?
so you can always talk in the chat if you go down to the bottom
Okay.
of the screen. There's an option for chat. And maybe Jessica, could you monitor chat for us?
I sure will. There's also, not sure what kind of device you're on, Annette, but there is a button down near share that's called react. And under react, there's all kinds of emotions, but that's also like the hand raise.
Oh, I
Um,
see it.
I think some people are just like kind of waving too. So
Okay.
Oh, I see a thumbs up. So that's a good thing
Yes.
to do.
Thank
Yes.
you. That
yes.
will help. But
Well, Annette, since you're talking to us, why don't you just introduce yourself?
okay. My name is Annette Wiseman. I'm with Mountain Metro Ambucks. I'm also a big hatter. And I love, love, love everybody. So
We love you too.
I will tell you, we have started our membership drive, and ours is going to be all about pickleball. So we have 2 teams that will be players, and the third team is our cheerleaders. So there's no reason for somebody really not to get involved. And we have established different points for different things, like if you come to practice, if you bring a guest to practice, if you, of course, you get points for bringing a guest to lunch. If this is funny, because y'all know I like to take pictures. If anybody's practicing outside of our established practice dates, they get points for that. They have to send us pictures, and if they go live, they get really extra points for that. So we're just trying to make it fun. My team is the Pickleball Princesses. My co-chair is Pickle Divas. And then we have our cheerleading group. So we're looking forward to it, and everybody can bring guests to practices, games. Our tournament is November 16th. All that is kind of underway, but we wanted to do something fun outside of club. And then also, of course, very important to bring them to our club so they can see what we do, how we do it, why we do it. I hope this is a good contest.
I think that's a very interesting contest. And I'm just really shocked that all of you are really, really, really playing pickleball. And I think good for you.
Thank you.
might, I mean, we've added health into our ambucks.
Right, right.
That's a new thing. So cool. Thank you so much.
Thank
Um,
you.
Who would like to speak next? Raise your hand or use the special little emotion icons. I see Donna. I can't pronounce your last name.
It's Shattuck. It's Shat with a tuck. I'm from the
Shat with a
Lubbock
tuck.
Monterey Ambucks, and we're planning, I think, on having a squares game. Our membership committee is going to be meeting Wednesday to finalize all of our details. In our squares game, if you bring somebody, you get a square, and the squares will be worth 25 points, $25 if you hit that, if your name is pulled on that square. And we'll have some that aren't filled in, because not everybody's going to bring a member the first day, but, or somebody, a guest, I should say. So, we'll either decide whether we're going to hold it over until the next time, and it could be worth $50 or whatever. So we're going to play the squares game, I believe.
Fun. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I see a hand raised for Leslie Hoffberger.
Hey, from Enid AM to Ambucks.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know until I read the recent Ambuck newsletter that this was supposed to start September 1st. But we're kicking ours off on September 23rd at our Monday night meeting and on the 25th at our noon meeting. And we are also going to have a point system. Our theme is trains, planes, and automobiles. And the tables will always be decorated with some animated type thing or electric type thing anyway. And we are giving 1 point for everyone who invites someone, for every person they invite, 3 points if the person actually attends, 5 points if they become a member, and those will go into a drawing. We'll have gift cards and that type of thing for the top 3 winners. But we have one of our members owns a bread and breakfast, and if we go beyond our 5 member or new members, she's going to donate an event day at her bread and breakfast. So we're really excited about that. And in October, we're going to have Crazy Ladies Bingo. We're going to bring, and not only have bingo cards, but, you know, I guess people used Dole, or what are they called? The lids from jars, ball lids, I guess, for ashtrays. We're going to get candy cigarettes. And I think people bring their lucky toys or objects when they play bingo. I don't know. I don't play bingo, but anyway, and so we're going to provide all of that stuff and just have a lot of fun.
Cool. So we're going to do one more introduction, and then we're going to flip over and look at some slides, and then we'll finish our meeting with, well, of course, the 2 ladies will speak a little bit about the slides that they have, and then we'll make sure everybody gets introduced before we end our meeting, okay? But these are great ideas. These are things that, you know, really, it opens our eyes to what's going on. And it's very exciting. So thank you. So Carmela, did you want to start with the slides?
Okay, Adam, we'll put them back up there for us. So I believe you heard earlier, one of the things that did change was the drives are now every quarter. So we'll let Adam there. So now we have 4 quarters of continuous membership drives. That does not mean you have to have a membership drive in each quarter. Please don't make an extra burden on yourself. It's just that we wanted to make sure that everybody knows that you can sign up a member anytime throughout the year. So the next slide. So the first quarter is June through August. So guess what? That's already kind of passed. Unfortunately, that came and went fast with the convention and conference and everything. So, but for future, it'll be June through August. And that first quarter is called Saddle Up. The theme is begin the new year with excitement. Emphasis will be on recruiting new members, but also seeking out former members and retirees. And if you bring in a new member during that time, you will get a pin that will be a saddle. Then, of course, our second quarter is like we've had it in the past, the fall branding. But you will note that it was stated earlier that is from September 1st through November, because it makes it more sense to be a full quarter. So it's okay if you started your membership drive a little later, that's fine. But note that you'll see from now on, it will be a full quarter. It will be the same as it's been known as in the past, and your pin will be a spur. Third quarter is called Trail Ride. So that will be a horseshoe, bringing good luck from the start of a new calendar year, because that'll be going from December through February. So we want you to think about how, hey, have some exciting things. Again, you do not have to have a membership drive, but if you do, maybe work it around the fact that you're coming into a new year, you're finishing up December, which is always such a busy time. But in January and February, such a cold, dreary time, let's make it fun. Bring in some good luck and start out that new calendar year. And fourth quarter is what you're typically used to, your spring roundup. Again, that is now 3 months, March through May. So we're just extending the existing drive to 3 months. The pin will still be a boot pin, rounding up the year by bringing in those new members, becoming a superior club, and invite guests to meetings and events, having year-end events with fun activities. We want you to invite your family, your friends, rounding up those new members to complete the year. As we are trying not to put any more burden on the national office, if anybody wants to join Longview 2 and Carmela and myself and being a sponsor to encourage membership year round, that's just a simple donation of $500 to National AMBUCS. And your name will be recognized in the magazine. and I think we had, yes. So again, your chapter is not required to hold 4 drives. Please don't make that a burden on yourself. But if your chapter wants to, great. We still want to stay with pushing the 2 main drives. But we want to encourage membership all year long. What we found out was so many chapters and members really thought that the only time they could bring in new members was during those 4 months of a drive. And so we want people to understand, hey, bring in new members all year round. A lot of you come from chapters that probably thinking, oh, Carmela, that's goofy. How did they think that? But go around to other chapters across the nation and you'd be amazed what some people thought, that, oops, we can only have members during that time. So we want to have new big hatters, and that's where Miss Fina can jump in as well. And Priscilla was a big inspiration to all this new idea too. So if Priscilla wants to jump in, please do so.
Hold on, I was chewing. My biggest deal too, on top of these membership drives, is we got to keep in mind our retention. You know, we can get all kinds of people coming in and bringing 3 new members and giving them a cowboy hat, but what are we doing to keep those members in place? How are we involving them into the organization, including in this program? And, you know, keeping them encouraged to stay a part of it.
Miss Priscilla?
Okay, I'm trying to get in. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Yeah, thanks, Carmela, because I didn't want to interject, but we tried this. I was able to participate for the first quarter last year, and it was a booming success. And apparently Mountain Metro continued on throughout the year and were able to be very, very successful with that for membership last year, and as well as for record numbers of big hatters gained last year by doing that. And I have some little things on my table behind me that I keep as a reminder, but we were able to do it with wearing pins. Simple. It's very easy to do this all year round, and you just come up with a theme each quarter, and you don't have to physically do things, but we meet weekly, so it was easy for us to just come up with a little game, or just to come up with the membership chair to remind the members. And like Fina said, to get those members, reach out and to remind our members who are loyal, who come every week or Zoom in every week. We send cards out to remind the members that haven't come in, and it just keeps us on track. As we mentioned this about membership drive and reaching out, and we had the themes. We did those 4 themes, and I'm so grateful to Ambucks and to Carmela and everyone who participated, Vic and Gordon and a lot of other people who were there and who supported us in trying that out, and gave all kinds of great advice, and reached out to me and were able to support me and help me when we were trying this. And I looked and got a branding iron with an A on it, and put it on the table, put saddles on the table, and did all kinds of things, and kept the girls enthused, gave them cowgirl names, and we just did the whole trail ride with the chuck wagon and the whole bit, and wore our cowboy outfits, and we got into it with the Oklahoma kind of theme. But you can do it, like you said, with all the games and stuff like that. But the main thing was the visibility, and in giving them little points for wearing their Ambucks pins, or wearing your chapter t-shirts at different events, or just in interjecting Ambucks wherever you were at other chapter meetings or clubs or church organizations, or, you know, just whatever it is that you always do. And just sometimes you'd be surprised that friends that you've known for years still don't know what Ambucks is. We say that all the time. But I was getting my phone fixed the other day at AT&T, and talking to a little kid just graduated from college, and he's lived in Lawton all of his life, and he had no idea what Ambucks was, and he's looking for something to get into. And so we started talking about it, and he wants to help people, and he and his girlfriend, and she's going to be a nurse. And so, you know, here are 2 young, energetic people that were just sitting there, and we just chit-chatted about it, you know. But Listen, it doesn't take any extra effort and it can be a fun thing. You just integrate it in with what you're doing and just kind of, stretch that one little thing at your meeting or your big hat meeting or whatever. But we were able to reach out to people that we hadn't even thought about it. And I made a little list of different retail vendors in Lawton and different places and things that we just hadn't even, we just kind of overlooked. And being in this membership and retention and reaching out to people that had kind of drifted away from us, it just gave us a new vitality. And we were able to reach people that we just kind of overlooked, or it just weren't in our purview because we'd kind of gotten, insular. And this gave us an opportunity to reach out in our community. And now Annette is one person. She just is symptomatic of our new membership, and they are so dynamite. They're dynamic, bringing in new blood to our chapter. And we're just really growing by leaps and bounds. And I owe it all to you ladies and you guys who have supported us in this effort. So, go out and do wonderful things with it. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you. All right. So Donna, Carlton Vish, if you want to put it back and ask them, the members again, what their drive is, that's great. We just wanted them to see what we kind of have out there so they can kind of get excited for a year-round membership drives.
Hello.
Fina.
Hello. Are you there, Donna Jean?
Oh, sorry. I guess I was speaking and nobody could hear me.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Priscilla. Your words were wonderful. And Adam, would you make it full screen again, please? To the pictures. There you go. All right. We have several more people to speak, and Vic is waving and doing sign language because he likes sign language. So Vic, speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. One of the things that if you have a old secretary, they go to that second quarter. they go to that second quarter, and they know they have to grow by 5. And if they get 6 members, they only grow by 5. They actually hold that member till later because they don't want to waste it. So years ago, we had a young gentleman who recruited 2 people, and we got up to that second quarter in which he turned it in. Then he would become a big hat. But our secretary held it till the next month or 2 because we'd already reached the 5. So our gentleman didn't big hat because his 2 people came off. So the idea of putting membership each quarter is turn them in every month. Let's turn them in as you do rather than holding them for 3 or 4 months.
And this little incentive with all the pins, I think is pretty exciting. So thank you, Vic. That's Vic Menendez, past national president, and who likes to speak in sign language. So let's go ahead and move forward, and thank you for your comments because many of you have some really good ideas. It's been exciting, and now we have the basis. You're going to get a special pin. Don't hold your members. We do need to note that on your activity scorecards, activity cards technically, you still get points, but you get it for all of the fall branding time and spring roundup, but you get the 3 months. So it's going to be September, October, and November, which is great because it adds another month for you to get members in and to get points for that. So that's a perk. Let me see who would like to speak next. Either raise
Fina and then Karen have their hands up.
Okay. Karen spoke.
Turn to my video back and mute myself.
You're unmuted, Fina.
Okay. So on top of this, I'm sure Adam will get the actual written up paper that explains this so you can share it with each one of your members. But the one thing I wanted to talk about with talking about the retention, what are you guys doing to make the members feel welcome? You know, are you just turning in their applications, giving them a big hat? I know I've seen Mountain Metro do some pretty big events for their new members. There's a couple other chapters that I've seen that really make the new big hatter or the new members even just be welcome. I know Edmund, I think Terry, they do a new membership orientation, which I hope everybody's doing. But those are some things that we really do need to keep in mind, along with not sandbagging our membership applications. But what are chapters doing to make their new members feel welcome? Is kind of my question, I guess.
Okay.
Hello.
Could we respond to that a little bit and then we'll move on to Karen? Yes, Diane?
I have found that I think I tried to tell the sponsor of the new member that they're responsible to contact that new member for at least the first year about everything that's going on, because that personal contact is really important. And of course, we send out emails and post on the Facebook page and all those things about what's going on. Unfortunately, we don't have very good meeting attendance. It's just not easy for our younger members to get there. But I try to, since I've been president, I've tried to talk to all of the sponsors and say, you know, you brought this person in, you need to be responsible for them for at least the first 12 months to let them know what we do. And I think that gets them and keeps them more involved.
Okay.
And then always thank them when they show up at things.
Thank you.
So
Karen?
Annette Wiseman put something in the chat about how the new Ambucks year is also a good time to ask them, new members, if they want to get involved in the committees, which I think is a really good point.
Committee membership is really important. That is a great way to hook your members and to help develop leaders, because they come on as a committee member and you give them a little task, and the next thing you know, you can ask them to be the chair. And the next thing you know, you're going to ask them to be on the board, and then so on and so forth, moving up. So, Karen, you had your hand up.
Yeah, we just started a mentoring program as well. Like, I'm having lunch with a new member on Wednesday, and the president is joining me just to talk about the chapter and then also to become friends. Vic taught us this with Amanda Grow, you know, brand new member, scared to death, didn't know how to go out and talk to anybody, and now she's like a wild woman. We also you talked about in the first quarter that it's important to bring back members. And we had that couple. Are they being counted as a rejoin, or are they being counted towards points for any of the national awards? Because we had a girl that we wanted to sign up for AMBUC of the Year, submit that award, but she had a rejoin, so they said, well, it doesn't count. You have to have a new member. What? Did we misunderstand that?
Can either Carmela or Fina address that?
I'll let Jessica handle it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jessica?
so I think the magic number is 60 days. So do you know how long it was for the person to get reinstated?
2 years.
Oh, then they should count as a newer member.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yep. Less than
thank you.
60, we consider it just coming right back in. Over 60, that's a $10 new member fee, and they're considered reinstated.
Okay.
Leslie, I saw your hand next. I'm just trying to keep track of whose hands I see. And then I saw
Okay.
Fina.
I did this a couple of years ago and it was really great. What I'm doing this year as a friendship chair is I am inviting the first 5 new members, and of course, I'm going to invite all new members during this quarter, but the first 5 new members and their sponsor to my house, and I'm going to make dinner for them. And when I did this the last time, I had about 8 people at each of 2 tables. And I mean, it was more of an orientation. It was fun. It was orientation. Everybody just loved it. And so I thought I'm going to do that again and see what happens. But I think it'll be really successful.
Fun. Thank you. Bina?
So from the standpoint of Big Hat, one of the ideas that I've been popping through my head is we need to invite a new member or even just a member from our chapter to one of your Big Hat events. I know we're kind of an exclusive club inside the club. But if we can get one member to come to one of those special functions that you put together, like I know Mountain Metro just did a big one that I shared on Facebook. If you could get one member to come to that and see how much fun Big Hat is having, that might encourage them to go out and get 3 members. Or if they're, they only need 1 member. I feel like sometimes Big Hat isolates themselves away from the chapter. And if we start using our Big Hat fun days, because it's all about fun, and inviting the members to that, doesn't have to be every meeting, just the one fun thing you guys do as a chapter. I think that might help encourage new membership, and then, also help with retention.
Good point, Fina. Did anybody else want to speak to retention? Do anybody, especially those who have not spoken yet? If you have some ideas?
I think when some of the ideas, when they said about giving them a job, a lot of times people get in the chapter and they're a little afraid of getting overwhelmed. But again, if we give them something small, whether that means, hey, at the next event, I need you to just be there for an hour or 2, or just greet, or bring some cookies, just something to make them feel important, that they are involved. And then they'll grasp on that little thing and decide, hey, I want to do more and more. They'll ask. But I love the idea, again, of calling up those old members that we've had in the past. I'm all the time going after those that have been gone, because they know what we're all about. And they just got busy maybe with life. And now they're to the point, maybe they can come back in and they need us.
Absolutely. Okay, who else would like to tell us who you are? And perhaps if you have something to add to whatever's going on, feel free.
I have a question of the ones who have ongoing membership drives. So are you doing the same ones every year? That's a question. And if not, if you're coming up with a new drive, how much time are you giving yourselves? How much planning is the chapter putting into organizing your membership drive?
That's a great question. Would anyone
see
like to
Leslie.
respond to that?
Leslie.
Leslie, okay.
Annette?
I have to keep going back and forth because it's not on every one of my screens.
Well, first of all, I'd like to add to what Carmela said. When I was president a couple of years ago, my slogan was just ask, and it is amazing. People want to be asked. And this year I have the friendship committee, and I've got about 8 very active people. And I think 5 of them are brand new, and they just want to be involved. And so to that, we have spent a lot of time getting ready for our kickoff and what we're going to do for the 2 months, October, November. A lot of time planning, how the contest is going to run. Our contests are different every year, how we're going to run them, how we're going to decorate, how we're going to motivate, and just make it a whole fun 2-month period.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Annette.
I was going to say that I think we change ours up all the time, mostly for the fun of it. It was so fun when we did the horse races, and then we did the wannabe doll that we carried everywhere. If you didn't bring a guest, I mean, some of those things will keep you laughing for years to come. And as far as, I don't know how to say this delicately, but when we were at a board meeting and they were looking for somebody to be the chair of the membership committee, and it was blank, and I was there and they looked at me and I said, I looked next door to me, the girl that was next to me, I said, I'll do it if you'll help. And so she was one of the newer members and she said, yes, she would help. And so then we meet on a small scale text, you know, grab 10 minutes before our regular meeting or stay after for a few minutes after that. And just kind of throw out the ideas and see how we can each make them work for what we want. But I think for us, the variety has been fun. What are the girls going to come up with next? You know, that kind of fun thing. And then we do regularly send out reminders to bring a guest to lunch. And I guess that's it. But our new members, I have to say, what has been pleasantly shocking is so many of our new members are engaging. And so they are jumping on this committee or that committee, and just, it's very, very nice to see.
Yes, you guys have really, really been on fire, and it's obvious that there's a lot of excitement. If anyone has not seen the Mountain Metro Facebook page, just go find it on Facebook. It gives you lots of ideas. You can get a lot of ideas just looking at their page. Funny, silly things to do. So thank you, Annette. Donna?
What we did last year, we did several different games that we did. One of them was a golf game where we would draw names for those guys that brought members in. We would draw names, and two people would come up and they would try to hit the golf ball into the hole. Well, of course, sometimes we blindfolded them, sometimes, and then took them round and round and told them to hit, you know. So sometimes it wasn't always as fair as it could be, but it did get excitement, you know, within the group. If they turned around backwards, you know they weren't going to make it. And then we would give them gift cards for if they did get a hole and all of this kind of stuff. So that was kind of fun.
That was fun.
And then one of them that we did was where the women challenged the men, and we served them dinner at one of our Monday meetings. We had our little chef hats on and aprons, and we served them at their tables instead of them having to go through the buffet line. So that was fun too, when the women were against the men, because somehow the men won that one. I think we gave it to them, but that's neither here nor there.
Fina has another comment. Fina?
Yeah. Does anybody put like welcome packets together for their new members? If they don't have orientation, meetings. I just think that would be a good tool. So it gives them more understanding what AMBUCS is about, is kind of having, a small little packet to hand to them when they come to their very first meeting of here's information, here's contact people. I really like, I can't remember who said that, but they use the sponsor. I think it was Diane who said that, use the sponsor as their kind of liaison in the chapter. So that's just a really good idea to keep that in mind.
We have the membership packages, and we have the application, of course, the first big thing. And then we tell the story about AMBUCS, and we give them a list of how much the dues are and all that kind of stuff, so that that's not a shock to them when they get their first bill, and just different little informational stuff that each AMBUCS needs.
Donna Hinchton has made a comment in the chat.
Well, I answered Terry.
Okay,
Terry was asking if anybody has money budgeted for membership drives.
And so would you like to address that? And Terry, you can address it too, and you're muted, Donna H.
Well,
I'll mute myself and then,
I'll unmute. You gotta turn your volume off. That's why I was muted, guys. Sorry. You turn your volume down. Okay, Terry asked if any, because we're talking about prizes, which my chapter has given money to, or free membership dues to as prizes. And we do budget every year money for membership for that. I think it's usually $100 or $200 for the year. And I saw Annette said the same thing, that we have they have a small budget for the year for $200. Oh, Karen, I want to be in Karen's chapter. They budget $400 for membership. So
We'll just
I
love
think
it,
if you're
love
gonna
it.
offer prizes stuff, you do have to budget that every year. My chapter, we have a new membership chair this year, and I haven't seen what she's going to do. We didn't do anything, obviously, in the first quarter. But in the past years, I was membership chair many years ago, and we had different contests every time. And one of the ones that was very popular was making two teams, making it a competition where one team. You guys gotta look at Carmela's really quick. Oh my God, that was funny. So we pitted teams against each other, and like the winning team, and they'd get points for bringing gas. Of course, you got more points for signing up new members, and whatever team won got a free dinner, things like that, made it fun. And we also had a calling tree that helped with retention, I believe, because we would call members, especially if they hadn't been to meetings for a while. We would have their person call, we would remind them every month, hey, get a hold of your people, send texts, call them, make sure they come to meetings. So I think that personal touch, because I'll tell you, if you don't show up to a meeting for a while and nobody reaches out to ask why, that can hurt their feelings. And then maybe that's why they're not coming back. So good to see you guys. I'm going to mute again so Donna can come back on.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Super. Donna H and I are in the same room, so she's sitting right behind me.
And I apologize for Cliff Burley interrupting this session.
That was hilarious.
You know, we're having a very interactive meeting anyway, so it fits right in. Doing what AMBUCs like to do, laugh and learn at the same time. Okay. Wow, what a lot of cool ideas. Would other people, I know several of you have not spoken, and if you would like to speak, you can raise your hand this way, or you can use that little reaction down here, because we'd love to hear from you, but understand if you're, would like to just listen this time. Any other ideas? Oh, I see David Gutierrez. David, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to go ahead and well, I'm very happy because I think we call it on the first quarter, and again, I'm not new to AMBUCs, but I just started getting more active about the beginning of the year, but here in the first quarter, what we call the first quarter, we had a little fundraiser here in Irving, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm also the chair-elect for the Irving Las Colinas AMBUCs here in Irving, Texas. And we had our first quarter fundraiser, and we had 6 new members come in. And with those 6 members that came in, it was my wife and I got 3 of each. So because we worked at it, and so we got the big, so-called big heads. Anyway, but I'm very excited because number one is I have other ideas about bringing in some more people because I'm very active within the community. Political and everything else, but I'm very happy because number one is I was talking to Mr. Hall today, Leo Hall, our chairman for the recruitment, because I'd like to have another fundraiser, and I'd like to have more frequent, and I'd like to have also to start up again a golf tournament as well. I belong to a organization it's a golfing organization. It's been around 75 years, and I've been their national secretary and president and so forth. But I like the other comments that I've heard about retention. When I was in the military, I was also what we call a retention officer. And some of these items that were brought up, and I greatly agree, because sometimes we used to have individuals that would come, let's say the National Guard, and sometimes they stand alone in the armory someplace by themselves, and they felt like they were unwanted. So I participated more in trying to get them involved with other people, get to know other people, make it more of a family, because in the military, we're all a family. And the same thing, I look at it with MBUCS as well. We're all a family working for the same goals. And I think it's when we work for the same goals, we kind of back each other up and look for each other in all kinds of ways. And that's the same thing that when we have new people coming into our chapter, we embrace them. And then to keep them in there, we need to be more active in how we do our meetings. What things we have, what things do we need in order to keep them energized, excited, and wanting to get really involved to where they can participate and make our organization grow.
You know, there was a member who said to me recently, it's the friendships that make you stay.
Right, exactly right, and that's for any kind of organization, because you bring in somebody in and you say, oh, I got a recruiter, or I got a member, and that's it. But no, you have to give them. It's just like home. You have to give them love. You have to give constantly be aware of them. Tell them that they care for it. You know, they're wanted, they're needed. You know, and you put them in positions where they feel comfortable and they kind of like it, and they achieve something, and they'll keep coming back.
So what kind of fundraiser did you guys do during first quarter that brought in those 6 new members?
There's a club here in Irving that's called Constellation Club, and we had my wife put out a memo of that MBUCS was having a fundraiser, and we had a lot of the people that come to mine, because I also chair Wednesday meeting, breakfast meeting every Wednesdays, and I have a lot of people that come also there. And so with that context that I got, we put them all together, we put them out, and some of those members that come there are also members of MBUCS. So we're all together. So I fed a lot of information through those contacts, and they came. And so when we were there, we had some trikes out so people can see them. We did a bit of raffling. So we made it real enjoyable. And the people that help us with the plays and the food and everything else, everything was great. So everybody was happy. We got them rolling and very excited. And pretty soon, oh, I want to be in it. Oh, well, okay. So we had 6 of them. I says, oh, wow. But you know what? We can do the same thing again. We just have
to congratulations.
No,
That
thank
is
you.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous work. Great job. Wow.
Faith
Any-
has her hand up, Donna.
Okay. Where is she?
I'm right here. So
there you are.
I'm Faye McNerney. I'm from Miami Bucks in Troy, Ohio. And we're a very small group. There's only 7 of us, and we've never had a membership drive. We used to have a lot of members, but most of those members were parents of children that had developmental disabilities. So we kind of lost them because parents really didn't have time. So it's down to the 7 of us, and what has probably retained all of us is that we have a triathlon for children with different abilities, ages 4 to 16, and that's our big fundraiser, our only fundraiser. It's a lot of work. Carmela actually came and saw, so thank you again, Carmela, for coming. But anyway, so everybody's really excited about the triathlon. Everybody has a piece of work to do for that triathlon. There's a lot of work to be done. So I think that's what has retained us, is just this exciting fundraiser that we do.
That's great. Faye, when is your triathlon? I've seen it off and on Facebook.
Well, it coincides with the convention, the conference. It is, it depends upon the date, but I mean, it's always the last Sunday in July. So this year it was July 28th.
Yeah.
The reason it's a Sunday morning because that's the only time that the pool is available. So our triathlon is different. We start with a walk, run, roll, and then we proceed to the bike trike area, and then we go right into the pool because we have a lot of children that have autism there, and they don't tolerate being wet and then getting on their bike and then walking at the end. So and then we have a pool party immediately afterward for all the parents. And
Well, our 2025 conference is the week earlier this year, and we moved it just for you, Faye.
You know what? And I saw that just like that week, I am really swamped.
Oh, of course.
Exhausted after, and I'm swamped the week before.
Yeah.
You know, I saw that just like, oh man.
There's always something going on. So many active AMBUCs.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big event, and it takes so much planning and, you know, calling parents, and there are so many things at the last minute, and you just would not believe how many people call me at the last minute. I mean, like the day before. Well, do you have a trike for me? I told you, if you can't, I write it out there, you know, if you need a trike, give me a couple weeks. I can find one for you, but give me a couple weeks. I even had one lady, not this year, but last year, the day of say to me, so do you have a trike for me? Well, I'm kind of busy right now. I need heads up on this. So, but it's a great way to advertise the need for trikes. And Channel 2 News was supposed to do a report on us. They still haven't done it for us, but one of these days it'll be on Channel 2 News all about us. So that's exciting.
Cool. We need to find a Sunday morning when there's nothing else going on. No earth-shattering news.
There you go.
For you.
When is that? Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's not been lately.
So
Okay.
Donna, we've got Paula Bleckley in the chat, and then I think Jenny Clement Shaw was going to come on and share as well.
I asked Jenny, but she didn't answer me. Paula, would you like to speak to your message in the chat, please?
Yes. I'm sorry. I've got a really bad stutter today. So maybe you could just reread what I wrote for me, please.
I got you covered, Paula.
Thanks.
Our chapter changed from weekly meetings to twice a month. So they used to do it more frequently. I think membership drives are more difficult after the change. I can't imagine how the chapters that meet monthly do it. Any suggestions for us that meet less often? We do have membership contests, but they don't seem as successful, or I might be remembering through rose-colored glasses. So anyone out there having success with a membership drive and you're meeting once a month or twice a month? Well, I would say, I think it might help with your setup now, Paula, now that the membership drive recognition is 3 months versus just the 2 months, because you're going to be going from 4 weeks of planning to now 6 weeks of planning. So that might help you out a little bit more. I don't know. I would say maybe consistency of the drives might help you guys, or if you did the same one. And I know Annette told us earlier that her group tends to have fun if it's something new and exciting. But I think if you're not meeting as frequently and able to do some of that planning, maybe you have the fun event that you're going to do every membership drive and everybody just knows it's coming up.
And I think I'm going to take off what Cliff Burley's done at ETEX AMBUCS, is that again, they throw a social in there that is at a place that others can see them as well. And so it's not really necessarily a membership drive, but thinking about membership everywhere they're at different events. And again, wearing that recognition of your name badge or your shirt that says AMBUCS. And at the last one they had was an ice cream social, and they had pamphlets. And so every person who walked in there, guess what they did is they asked them, do you know anything about AMBUCS? And not a pressure, but just kind of talk to them as they were getting them some ice cream. And sure enough, they had 2 that are really interested in joining. So you never know, but I think that visibility helps. So maybe, Paula, not always having to have a set membership drive other than just working on membership during those months or all year, as Vic said.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
idea. And I
Mhm.
know some chapters have moved to not meeting as frequently in order to attract new members. Some are trying to attract younger members who may not be able to come every single week. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I can see where it might be challenging to plan some events in a short time span. And I think Fina's got some comments on that.
Yes, I just saw Fina's hand go up, and we have Jenny next.
My thing too is, you know, talking about Paula and them only meeting a couple times a month. The other thing people can think about, kind of going off what ETX does of handing out that pamphlet, is maybe doing kind of a mass mailing to your local banks, your local realtor offices, and just kind of getting our literature out to them. I've suggested this to Oklahoma City, which we are a large area, but I've suggested to my guys that, you know, maybe we need to start doing that, is, you know, kind of putting a little bit of a budget together of Vic is always big on postcards, of sending a postcard of what Ambucks is, because a lot of banks want their members or their employees to be part of a group, you know, Rotary or something like that. So that is an idea that I've been floating around in my chapter of, you know, inviting people that we don't even know. I mean, I drive by a bank and I'm like, hey, I could send something to them. So that might be an option too for Paula, since they're only meeting, you know, a couple times a month.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And then
Jenny?
some of our,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, no, go ahead. We can pivot.
Okay, Jenny? She's muted.
I think I'm going to speak for Jenny.
Okay, this is Gordon.
This is Gordon Shaw, and I'm trying to post this in the middle. Jenny is the Great Plains region Big Hat, and this is only for Great Plains region. But she designed a belt buckle that it started June 1st for members that Big Hat during the year. One of the incentives she's going to give them is this belt buckle. This also includes people that read Big Hat, okay, and including read Big Hat does include the Black Hatters within Great Plains region, and I hope that I covered everything right. But this is just an incentive that she developed to encourage more Big Hats within Great Plains region, and also for Big Hatters already to read Big Hat.
Thank you, Gordon. Gordon is our national president-elect, or NPE, as he likes to call himself.
In some circles, he's Jenny's husband.
That's right.
Or some other names too. So anyway, we just have a couple minutes left on our call. We try to hold these to an hour. I would like to quickly introduce the board and the staff. So I'm just going to look at my board or my screen and hit those. So when I say your name, will you please wave your hand? We have Gordon, we just talked about him. We have Donna Hinchton, immediate past national president, Jessica Wall, CEO, Matt Trainer, Southern Region Director, Judd Freeman, he is Mid-States Region Director, Robin Rapp, Northeast Region Director. I'm gonna have to switch my screen. Jenny Clement Shaw is the Big Hat Director for Great Plains. Fina Nett, National Big Hat President. We have Adam Rosendale, who is our marketing person. Going. Jack Belger is a past national president. Yes, Jessica?
Terry Lanham.
I don't, well, she's down here. I just haven't.
She's on here. She's just further down the list.
Right. I'm just going through here and checking to make sure. And then Terry Lanham, who is our National Big Hat Vice President. Vic Menendez is a past national president. Have I missed?
So is Jack Bellware.
I'm sorry, Jack. Did I not say your name?
You did.
Okay, yeah.
You did.
Yeah. Okay. Did I miss anyone who's been in those positions before? Any of those leaderships? Well, thank you all. Thank you all for your leadership now and past leadership. We have a few people that
You forgot Paula.
Oh, Paula, there she is. Paula Bleckley is a Black Hatter, so she is past national Big Hat president. And Carmela Davis is also a past national Big Hat president.
And so are you, DCB.
Well, yeah, I am. But yeah, okay.
And so is Jack.
And Jack
so is
Bellware is a
Jack.
past national Big Hat president. So yeah, we've got a lot of but feel free, all members, feel free to contact these people who have been leaders in the past, are currently leaders. Use them, ask them questions, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you. Did anyone else have something they would like to say?
Steve Davis had his hand up.
Oh, Steve?
Well, I just had a couple of questions. I have or a comment. I think it's important for us to wear our Ambucks shirts because you never know. I mean, I don't have one on now. I have one on from the Cove, which is famous for its Chubby Marys, which is a Bloody Mary with a chub, a smoked fish in it. Anyway, but I think it's important for us to wear our Ambucks shirts because sometimes people will say, "What is Ambucks?" You know, and it's so important for us to be able to tell people about what we do. I had an instance at the Y, a young man came out of the steam room, got in the hot tub. I was in the hot tub. He said, the steam room is so hot that you go in the hot tub to cool off. Anyway, I'm talking to him and I'm looking right at him because I hear people better when I can see their lips move because, you know, as some of you know, I have, you know, pretty severe hearing loss. Anyway, he also has a hearing loss. Anyhow, he is a realtor in town. He's come to one of our meetings. We're trying to sign him up. They have a foundation. They give away 100 bikes a year at an event. And so I'm talking to him about Amtrikes. You know, it's just we need to be out there and talk about, you know, what we do. And there are a lot of people like Chuck who are interested, and maybe nothing will come of it, but we don't know. They can't say no if we don't ask. So that's one thing. Also, I had a young lady who is a Girl Scout Gold Award, or she has a Gold Award project. She's building wheelchair accessible garden beds. We're going to be placing one of those out at Indian Trails Camp, which I think Carmela, you've been out there, you know, and it's a camp for people with special needs, different abilities, whatever. And this is going to be such a great thing that, you know, campers can wheel up there and, you know, pick vegetables or pick herbs, whatever. So anyway, I would like to, my other question is if I can get this information to you, Jessica. Yes. Is this something that we could put on our national website?
Yeah, I was gonna actually interrupt you and say that's a magazine article, Steve. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew. The gal said to me, she sent it to me today, and I said, it's ironic that I'm actually going to be in this Zoom meeting, and I said, we can promote this because it's something that any chapter can do that has a place like this. We're going to pay for the lumber, you know. I mean, we'll pay to build this thing. If our club didn't, you know, decided they wouldn't pay, to hell with them, I'll pay. I'll write a check. You know, I mean, that's what Davises do, right, Carmela? Yeah, right. You know, but no, I mean, it's such a cool thing, and you know, this girl, Ironically, she's just starting college. She also has a hearing loss, which is kind of ironic. But anyhow, so I'll get that information to you, Jessica. So
I would love that. That's a
Okay.
great community service project.
yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah. Great, wonderful. We have had so many really great ideas rolled through here. We have recorded this so you can go back and listen again and pick up on something, and again, contact that person who does it in their chapter, get more information about it. I want to say a big thank you to Carmela and Fina for organizing the speaking part of it, and Steve has his hand waving
I
again.
have one more question.
Okay.
Basically for Jessica, were you able to get a hold of Mary Kay Hood? And she had a procedure done, but I saw her last week and she is doing fantastic.
Okay, so I've not gotten a response yet, but I will reach out now. I probably
Okay.
just reached out a little too soon when she was under the weather.
Yeah. But
I
she's
was
doing.
very
is-
eager, and I know you said that she'd been unwell, and I was like, I should
Yes.
probably wait. And then I was like, I'm not gonna wait.
Okay. Reach out again, because and
Okay.
tell her I told you to reach out, because
Okay.
I mean, she's an absolutely amazing person.
I'm
And,
very, very excited.
Yeah. And along with that subject, on Wednesday, when we have our evening, we're going to have an evening meeting at Alan Sherrill Muse. I'll be wearing my Sean Lewis t-shirt. Yes. So yeah.
He's the man.
He is the man. Yeah.
Dick's raising his hand.
Yeah, I see
Hey,
that.
just
I was
real
waiting.
quick, one of the things that I got out of this meeting too is several of you said you have new members packets. If you have a new member packet, would you do me a favor on your cell phone, take pictures of everything in that packet and send it to Fina.
Love
Let
it.
Fina go through those, figure out what we've got, come up, because a lot of us are going, we used to have one long time ago, but like to see what you're doing now. That way we can steal from you guys good ideas and send it to Fina.
And
Good
I
idea.
I can throw my email address up into the chat real quick for anybody to copy down if they want to email me their packets, because that's just a great idea to share.
Yes, and Fina's email address, if you lose it on this, is also on the website, because she's our National Big Hat president. So, but Fina, if you want to write that in the chat before we go,
I
then it,
just did.
okay. Oh, I haven't seen it come up yet.
It's
Oh, wait,
easy.
I think it's hold on.
Fina7190@gmail.
Got
Hey,
it.
can you get those to Adam too, and
Yeah.
then he can put them on the hub and share them?
Yeah, as a chapter resource, that would be
Mhm.
wonderful. Great
Yeah.
idea, Vic.
Thank you, Vic. I know, I was gonna say something. So, yes, and the slides. Adam, can you put those on our website as well? Because I really feel like those are great tools that members can use in their chapters. Thank you for creating, and Carmela and Fina working with Adam and getting that done. Does anyone else have questions, concerns, something that we need to address? This has been one of the most interactive chapter chats that I've ever been on. So I thank each and every one of you, whether you spoke, whether you didn't speak, but I thank you all for being here and taking time to do this. Anything else for the good of the, yes, Diane?
Real quick, we have a community, it's kind of like our Chamber of Commerce, it's called Vermilion Advantage, and they have business after hours once a month. And next year in the spring, we're going to find somebody to partner with, because we need a location to hold it. And we're going to do a business after hours for AMBUCS, which will involve the whole community, because businesses come for business after hours. And, it's just an event that you have snacks for them to eat. And if you want, you can provide, certain pieces of alcohol, or they can buy their own. Also, our local historic theater has started a program where you can rent the theater for an amount of money and then have, there's certain movies that they can show, and you offer them to, we would first offer them to our Ambucks kids and families, and then to the community, and say, this is what we have. This is what we do, and this is why we want to include everybody. And I'm a true believer of pamphlets, always have. Our pamphlet now has a QR code on it. You can take a picture of that, scan that QR code, and goes directly to our application. They can make application, fill it out online, and it's done.
Thank you, Diane. We are going to have to wrap things up. Please note it in the chapter chat, there are a few messages. Some of the things you've been asking about are already on the hub, so you can take a look there. Fina's email did show up. So you want to take a run over there before you sign off. Oh, this has been great. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Donna.
Donna. Donna.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.